What's up, everybody? David from Flash by Vcyclenut here. This is Manny and his girl, Sophia. Manny was cool enough to bring that bad boy in. So finally getting my hands on an R9. Obviously super excited about that. So we're going to do some runs with it stock before I touch it. And then we're going to load my Flash into it and see what we get. First dyno run that we're going to take a look at is we're in power mode 1 in 5th gear, which is what we normally dyno in. And you see we got about a little less than 110 horsepower, right in line with what we've seen with this motor, somewhere between 107, 111, 112 depending. And yeah, so normal shape curve with it falling on its face. I'm going to show you the throttle maps in a second, and you'll see why it's doing that. And next I did a couple pulls in 2nd gear. 2nd gear is hard to dyno in, just especially we get some weird stuff. It's hard to get consistent, but where it's very consistent and where it's very obvious when you ride the bike is at 2nd gear, just like the MT-09. The throttle maps are slightly different, but they're very similar in that 2nd gear is just atrocious. And look at this, like just like loss and torque. It's just horrible, horrible, horrible. Bad Yamaha, bad. So I wanted to make this a little easier to see. If take away the graph, and I'll show the cursor and stuff. But yeah, this is typical 2nd gear stuff for a Gen 3 and Gen 4 CP3 Yamaha motor. When I clean up the screen a little bit and remove all the runs, take out the torque, so we're just looking at horsepower, we can see right there at 5,600 RPMs, we are down like 22 horsepower, which is it's like, I don't know, almost 50%. Down from where it should be. Just like I said, just silliness. And the next dyno curve that I'm going to show you is all the different modes 1 and then mode 2, then mode 3, and then mode 4. And I'll show you why I thought this would be relevant. It turns out not so much. But so these are we're in mode 1, gear 5, and these are the throttle maps. So this is how much you have your wrist turned. This is what RPM you're at. This is how much throttle you actually get. So if we have our wrist turned 12% at 4,500, we get 6.3% throttle. Now I know some of you would look at this and go, well, what the hell? Why ain't it 1-to-1? If you made the throttle 1-to-1, it would be unrideable because it just the way it responds so instantly, it would just be horrible. So there's always improvements to be made with these, but if I just went in and made it 1-to-1, it'd be really bad. So one of the things that really is bothering me about the R9 and its throttle maps, we're going to switch through the modes here. And I want you to look at these numbers and watch how little they change. All right, so look, we go back mode 1 to mode 2. Nothing changes till like almost 19% throttle basically. And even then it's minor. If we go to mode 3, more of the same. Mode 4, more of the same. So the beginning 12-14% of the throttle is identical in all the modes. Okay, kind of seems to me silly to have modes at that point, right? But even so, here we go. Let's go back to mode 1, and what we're looking at is if we have our wrist turned 100%, we see that we really only get 100% throttle between 7,000 and 10,000 RPMs, and then it closes the throttle, and that's why we get that funky shape at the end. And of course, just making these 100% helps that, right? So, but let's look at the different modes. So if we go mode 1 and to mode 2, you can see that it does close the throttle more. So, and then if we go, I believe mode 3 is identical to that. It is. And then if we go to mode 4, it closes it even more. So I expected as I went down in modes from mode 1 to mode 2 and 3 that it would make less power. And then when I go into mode 4, it would make even a little bit less. Not huge throttle changes, but you know, there's some throttle change. So you would expect it to make less power. But let's actually see what happened. This is all the different modes in 5th gear overlaid over top of each other. And guess what? Power mode 4 put up the highest number. So go figure. I mean, but they're basically the same. So, you know, that little bit of throttle closing more at the top, yeah, didn't make much difference at all. And this shape's this is the most drastic different, but again, I don't know what Yamaha was up to with these throttle maps. They're almost all the same in the beginning. They're just different in the middle. I guess for a track bike, kind of, sort of makes sense, but still not really. So anyway, gives me lots of room for improvement. I have my stock bike flash ready to go, but unfortunately today this is where this story ends for now. So this was a Canadian customer, came over from Vancouver. Thank you, Manny. But their ECU is a different part number, so I couldn't take the chance of flashing it and then the bike not running because of something being different in behind the scenes on the ECU, and then his bike not running, and then there'd be no way to send that ECU out to Woolwich to be read out, because then it wouldn't be the stock ECU anymore. So hopefully somebody will be sending in an ECU soon from Canada to have Woolwich do the readout, and I will get Manny back in here and we will get my flash in it. If anybody else is in Washington and wants to bring their bike by, yeah, you know, I beg you please. No, not really. I'm sure they'll get at it, and Manny will be back, and if not, my bike will be getting here, and I'll be able to show the improvements that I make in all these things. Till then, all you guys that have the R9 or are waiting on your R9 like me, which is you're lucky ones that got it, and the rest of us just keep waiting. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe and like button for more motorcycle-related content. And head on over to Vcyclenut.com for your best in motorcycle performance needs. Thanks, guys. Take care.